A few recent typical projects we've worked on have shown really the spectrum of advice that's needed with succession planning and how it can best be utilised to maximise the value for the exiting partners. As we've already discussed, succession planning we often undertake over a 10-year time frame. And the reason we do that is we allow time for the strategy to be implemented, we allow time for the value to be maximised, and we allow time for the profit share plan or scheme we've put in place to fund succession to actually take place and be implemented successfully over a period of time. Having done that recently with a number of clients, we can look at case studies and see actually how the programs worked and what the successful outcomes were. With an urban planning firm we worked with in North Sydney, it was a 5-month project, took a considerable amount of time, and there was ongoing coaching involved as well. The existing CEO was a very good communicator and a good businesswoman. She communicated the plan effectively to staff and had already identified when we became involved the key personnel that she wanted to bring on through the business. That business now uses the succession plan as a recruitment and retention tool. They actually show people the plan as a mechanism whereby they can recruit into the firm key people and show them how they can eventually become shareholders in that particular business. They've also been able to maximise the equity value for exiting or retiring shareholders. They're doing a gradual succession plan over 10 years, and so at each stage of the plan they're selling down the business at maximum value to achieve the best possible outcome. Some recent work we did with one family business was a very interesting case study. The business had been running for well over 60 years, was originally started by the grandfather and had passed on to the father quite some time ago. When we got involved, it was about to pass from father to son. The father was in his 60s and was looking shortly towards retiring, though he was still actively involved in the business day to day. The son had worked there since basically he left school and went to work for the family business. The father was keen to ensure an orderly generational transfer, not only of the business but also of other assets. And so we sat down and looked at the various assets involved, including the business. We placed values on them all, and the father was then able to determine the best way to distribute those assets between son and daughter. The son received the business and lots of related business assets like the premises, but the daughter also received substantial property portfolio, roughly equivalent to the value of the business. At the same time, the father was able to roll about $1 million into superannuation, which proved to be very tax effective with little tax paid on that transaction, which secured his retirement and enabled him to retire knowing firstly that the business was in good hands. His son was running it, now owner and controller of that business, but his daughter was also well provided for in terms of other assets outside the business. That meant there was no future dispute over who would get what assets, and that a generational transfer had happened very successfully without lots of the issues that do occur in family-owned businesses today. Succession planning is all about taking a considered strategic approach to your business exit strategy. Without that approach, the value in your business may well retire when you do.